let's say, you know that in Sentosa they have opened up the resort. You know, sometimes you have certain rides, you've got no idea what it is all about. You see people screaming. You know, you may say there's still excitement, but there's some form of nervousness, right? Some of them no excitement but full of nervousness. Some say totally, I'm never going to get up that, you know, that ride. But this before, right? Because everybody has got a different level of comfort. How some are very daring, I just go and do it. So it all depends on where we are. But it's okay because you've taken your first step. You know what you're in for anyway. So then you just have to continue doing it. Okay. So very interestingly also, let me just recap. So that was just wanted to get a feel of how you felt the day. Let me just share with you a recap of lesson, especially the first one. Especially we talked about day one. We spoke about how we can use certain techniques for impromptu. Let me give you a very realistic example right now. My daughter was kind of selected, not just selected, she was so-called had to go for an interview for a prefect. Okay? So she said she got interview. I said, secondary one, prefect also got this kind of interviews. Okay, I thought last time just ready, set, point you go, now got interview. She said, okay, I said, so what will they ask during the interview? She said, probably this is the questions. Okay, it should be the questions, I don't know. This is what's driving. So I was praying that hopefully I can teach her some of the impromptu techniques. So he said, okay, maybe they'll ask, what is your achievement for the last 3 months? I said, okay, tell me what you did in January, tell me what you did in February, what you did in March. Then she said, okay, I did this. So you know what to tell? I said, yeah, okay. Then she said, second question I asked her, what do you want to achieve, what do you want to achieve in this school, your achievements in the school? And she said, how to say that? Okay, I said very simple. I teach her the power of 3. The earlier one was what? January, February, March is what? Time, right? Now power of 3, very simple. I said, what are you going to do as a student? In terms of 3 aspects. It's what? One is academic, right? I told her academic, tell last. Okay. Don't emphasize academic. So first you talk about how you want to become a good student, to your colleagues, to your classmates. 1. You know how to talk about? You say, yeah, she knows how to talk. Okay. Number 2, talk about what you want to contribute to the school. Then what you want to do academically. Can answer? She said, can. Okay, go. That is what? Power 1. 3. So that's another technique you can use. Alright? Third, because her brother is in secondary 4. Right? Brother is not a prefect. So she said, maybe they'll ask me this question. I said, well, the teachers have a really hard time. I don't know how she take all these questions. What happened, your brother, what is it? What happened, will your brother get jealous or not? If you can get prefect. Alright? So what happened to this question? What technique can use? Very simple, I said, state your opinion first. Say yes or no. Then why no? Why yes? That's all. With me, everyone? So it can be used. So I'm just sharing with you that there are techniques, right? So what are the good things about prefect? Why you want to become a prefect? So what technique can I use? Why you want to be a prefect? What technique can I use? Benefits. Why? With me so far, everyone? So remember, what I'm trying to tell you is, any one of those, what I was trying to share with my daughter that day was not to say what to say. I didn't exactly tell her you must say A, B and C. I did not say that. What I just said was, I just gave her a structure. You go and put what you want to put, because it has to come from her. It has to come from her. I cannot teach her what to say. Otherwise, it's almost like made up. I say you have to figure out what you want to do. I just point to you some direction. And this was all done in 5 minutes on my drive to school. Okay? So it can be applied. So in the future, anybody got interviews, so go through these 5 techniques with them. Okay? So not to say what exactly to say, but point to them general things that you want to talk about. So that's, I thought it's a good way. I was thinking about how to recap a lesson. I thought this is a good way to recap the lesson for day 1. Okay, last week's lesson. Last week's lesson is all about outline. How when Peter came, we Peter is there. When Peter came up to share, in any speech that we do, we must have an outline. We must know what exactly you want to talk about. That's how you can reduce your anxiety. Remember, some of you all say, I'm not sure what to say. I worry that I may forget. So that will help you. Having an outline is important. How to develop the outline? There are many ways, there are many structures of outline. You can decide how the outline should be. But you must remember the objective before you develop the outline. For example, if the outline is proposal, then your structure must have some proposals, obviously, right? You think about if it's just information, so how you want to do the outline. If it is, for example, persuasion, then how you want the outline to be. So this outline is important. Outline is almost like skeleton. Then you can put in all the information. Of course, the next part is how to remember. You've got so many things all scripted very nicely. How am I going to read this stuff? For example, can you imagine if I've written something like this, and I may just quickly go over. Imagine I've written something like this. Assuming, can you imagine delivering like this to an audience? Isn't it difficult? Difficult, huh? One, you must be able to read, and that is the biggest challenge. And I've seen people, they wear spectacles. I don't know, far-sighted, near-sighted. Bring down, look, then bring up, look at the audience, bring down, bring down. Have you seen this or not? Have you seen this? Can be distracting, can be challenging. And then once the moment you look at this and start reading, you lose the audience engagement. So it is important to, it is okay sometimes in a management context, sometimes you need some bullet points. I think it is still okay. But as long as you have some key points. That's why Simon talked about the sensory structure, right? Last week we talked about it. What did he say? Any key things that you remember that you think that it must make sense? Anyone, anything that you can remember that will help you to remember. How do you think we should structure it? Anyone can remember?
We can use
Mind map, okay. Which you are diligently using it. Okay. And then I realized all got how many words inside? Each point got how many words? How many words? One word. Right? Of course, if you have drawn a picture, it would be even wonderful. But some of us just cannot draw a picture, but words is still okay. According to Simon, pictures 200 times, right? The chances of retention is higher than words. With me, everyone? So a mind map would help. At least you have an idea like this. So then, when you do this, then you have a bit more confident when you come up here. I've got exactly an idea how I want to do it and how I'm going to deliver without forgetting a lot of things. With me. Questions so far? Okay? Any other questions here? 6, 9. Yeah? Okay. Do you think that's all we have today, or do you think there's more? Maybe another 10 more minutes. Maybe I'll do one or two speeches first.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can start the session. Alright. Okay, so last week, so today what we're going to do, we're going to start delivering speeches. Are everybody prepared with speeches? Yes? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Silence. Silence means what? Consent. Okay. Alright.